Well, the state medical board revokes a license of a Tulsa doctor for overprescribing medicine and poor record keeping.
Dr. Walter Exon says the state board has left his 1,100 patients in a terrible bind. News on 6's Lori Fulbright is on that story, new at 6.
A note on the office door of Dr. Exon's practice says he's no longer able to treat patients and encourages them to call the state licensing board. But the state licensing board says the reason he's closed it all is because he was overprescribing patients.
Walter Exon started his career as a pediatrician, but then turned to treating mental illness. He says he does not advertise himself to be a psychiatrist, but does everything they do, including prescribing medicine for things like bipolar, anxiety, depression, and ADHD. He says his 1,100 patients now have nowhere to go.
These people are just in limbo.
Board records say a complaint led to a review of some of Exon's files. They found several concerns, including a patient receiving 6 times the FDA max recommendation for Adderall, another whose dosage was increased 400% in just 48 days, a patient receiving 4 times the FDA max of Ritalin, and no evidence to support the treatment or justification for the dosages.
These numbers, these guidelines are just that, they're guidelines, and physicians do not have to adhere to those guidelines.
He says he's had no patient injuries or deaths, and if he caught a patient abusing medication, he stopped it. But board records show some of his patients showed obvious signs of substance abuse and got arrested over and over for drug-related crimes. But he says the board's decision is unfair.
It is beyond comprehension the lack of consideration that was given to the welfare of the patients.
The board says its mission is to protect the public, not doctors, and says patients often have to find new doctors for a variety of reasons.
Dr. Exon says he plans to appeal this decision with the state licensing board and with the Oklahoma Supreme Court. On the scene on the story in Tulsa, Lori Fulbright, News on 6.